This week's episode is brought to you by Body Scare. All natural body care products so good, they're scary.
What's going on?
We're back with an all-new Zompire podcast with my host, Michelle of the Dead. Patrick von Smithenstein couldn't make it, but you got the two good-looking ones.
Hey, that's not very nice to say, but thank you.
I love
Hey.
that. Who knows that?
Hey, Raquel. What's up, Sherry? Great to see you guys.
We are here.
We are here, and we have a subject tonight. We have a topic. We have a topic. What would you like to tell everybody about our topic?
The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez.
What?
I was actually kind of surprised we hadn't done this one already because it seems like such a blatant one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, Chad?
It just seemed like, you know, as far as true crime goes, you go Dahmer, Gacy, Geen, Ramirez. Like those are the four, you know?
Yeah, Ridgway. Don't forget Ridgway.
Yeah, Ridgway. What was the one that was here? Oh, Gary Ridgway. But he was called, what was his nickname?
The Green River Killer.
Green River Killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have partied many a time in my youth along the Green River.
And you didn't become a victim?
Not that I know of. I was drunk a lot. It's possible.
I did wear my Charles Manson shirt tonight.
Oh,
you know, in
nice.
honor of serial killer.
Yeah. Well, since it's the Night Stalker, I don't have a Night Stalker shirt, but I have a Night Cry shirt, which is a local band. Yes. So that's the closest I could get today.
Jerry says we should do Bundy too, which
yeah.
Another good.
Ramirez, though, that one, he's especially terrifying because of the scope of his crimes and the amount of his crimes, and just
Well, his crimes stretch between L.A. and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's, you know, in between there. That was his like little gateway.
That was his stomping grounds.
Yeah. I'm Raquel from Barbie. My childhood is a female form of him.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, we support.
He had a pretty bad childhood. He was beaten into unconsciousness a lot as a child, and probably got brain damage, which is probably what's wrong with him. I read that he's not a born killer; he is a made killer because of the treatment and trauma that he received as a child.
Well, also like his cousin. I brought it up on Wikipedia so I would remember people's names, but his cousin actually was a Vietnam vet, and during Vietnam, he raped and tortured and mutilated,
dismembered lots of women,
and took pictures of them. And actually, when he came back, I think Richard was maybe about 8 years old at the time, 9 years old, and he was showing me these pictures and glorifying what he had done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So he was introduced to that at a very young age.
Right.
Also wasn't probably nurtured very well. Being abused.
No, he had an alcoholic father who like beat their whole family.
Yeah. So, you know, and then, you know, he just had to escape. He started doing drugs, started robbing places.
Well, he started out so when I want to say he was around 9 or 10, the same cousin who showed him those pictures of the mutilated women and stuff, during a domestic dispute, while Ramirez was there, he shot his wife in the face and killed her. And he ended up getting off of that. I don't remember why. There
It
was
was
something.
because they were from out of state and they didn't want to come back in to testify.
Oh,
So
right,
the
right.
charges were dropped.
Witnesses. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. I mean,
they didn't press charges because they didn't want to come back. Oh.
oh no, 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 that's different.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, it is. The first woman he tried to rape, that was the one that they lived out of state.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
So
when
this is
his
a different
cousin,
one.
yeah, it was the same cousin that showed him the Vietnam pictures. Um, got in a domestic dispute with his wife and shot her in the face. He was like a
Yeah.
Green Beret. Um, and Richard Ramirez was there when it happened,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. You're
even
right.
said like it didn't affect him. He didn't care about like he wasn't affected by the murder at all. Probably because like his uncle had showed him, or was it his cousin, showed him
Cousin.
pictures, previous of
So
like
it
Vietnam.
wasn't shocking. It was like more
Yeah,
fascinating for
yeah.
him.
So it's like when you say like you're making a murderer, it makes sense with Ramirez.
It's all
Maybe
the
he
pieces were yeah, he was basically trained to be a murderer by all these different people in his life.
yeah. And he may have been like, disjointed or however you want to say it before all of that. But like you can't tell me at 8 years old, your older cousin comes home from war and he's showing you these pictures and glorifying that type of behavior that you don't, buy into it and
You're so
kind of
easily you're so like impressionable
right,
when you're young. Your brain's like a sponge, and it's like you don't really know. Like when you're young, you know what's right and wrong, but if it's coming from somebody older and trusted, it can't be wrong, right?
right.
I mean,
And
you
I
don't
think
really
that's
know.
and I think when you take that on at such a young early age, it's not like he only had it between the years 8 and 9. It was like 8 and 13. He
Right.
was just inundated with murder and bloodlust and whatever you want to say. So like it really did like kind of motivate him as a person.
Yeah.
But then he went on to kill, I think it was 16.
I was at least 15 people that for sure.
Yeah, I brought up the Wikipedia because we're going to talk about some of the victims, and their names are insanely hard to remember. And I didn't want to be like disrespectful to the
Speaking
dead.
of names, Richard Ramirez, his full real name is,
Uh, Ricardo Leva Munoz Ramirez.
huh? What's my last name?
Munoz.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
You're related to.
We need to do like a 23andMe on Michael's side so that find out. And it's weird. It's like
You're
Michael's
only a
side of the
Munoz
family.
by marriage.
No, Michael is a Munoz, and his family's from
That's what
Texas.
I'm saying. You're a Munoz by marriage.
Yeah, exactly.
He had temporal lobe epilepsy that wasn't treated. There is, if you look at it, there were doctors that looked at him. I think it was after he had deceased. It may have been before, but they looked at his like the level of brain damage he had, and they can't say he was born with any of it, but like that he definitely suffered from different brain injuries that would have driven him to a more malice lifestyle, I guess is the
Yeah. Yeah,
easiest
brain
way to say
damage,
it.
basically. Short and
Well, I
long
mean,
of it.
I feel like anyone that has brain damage, if you like cultivate a certain ideology, they'll pick up on it easily. Does that make sense? So, like, if you
Like
had
how? What
brain
do you
damage,
mean?
if you had brain damage, and I only take you to football games for the next year, you're going to be obsessed with football.
Oh,
Like,
that's all I know. That's all I'll know is football.
yeah, you're going to get attached to it and become, it'll be what you direct everything on. And I think it was the same way for Ramirez when he had, the brain damage from his dad getting beat up all the time. Um, and then his cousin, who he obviously looked up to, showing him the pictures of, you
Yeah, this
know,
is cool. This is what it's supposed to be like,
yeah,
and like teaching him
like
stuff,
look
teaching him
what I did over there. This is
how to
so awesome.
kill, and you know,
It's going to be like, you know, an inevitable rabbit hole for Richard to go down.
yeah, huh?
No, do you agree?
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
What about the thing that, I mean, you know, back, I guess, what was this, like the early 80s, late 70s?
I think it was the early to
80,
mid 80s. It was
84
like
to
85.
85. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
something like
back
that.
then they didn't have, like, they had fingerprint, but they didn't have DNA,
Correct.
you know, because he was out raping girls, murdering them, murdering their husbands. The reason he was called a night stalker was because, like, you know, he would come in when you were sleeping. That was the other thing. His
He would
cousin, who
flat
was,
out shoot you in the face while you were sleeping. Nothing else. He would just come into your house and he would shoot you, ransack your place, and then leave.
well, and like
Shoot you
his
in the
cousin
face.
was a Green Beret. And so the guy that was showing him all those photographs was also like kind of teaching him stealth tactics and all that, you know?
How to
So,
kill.
yeah, how to break into places without being caught.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was called a Night Stalker. He was also the Walk-in Stalker and the Valley Intruder.
It's pretty creepy. It's pretty
Yeah.
creepy. Got a
I
cocaine
always,
problem.
I always feel kind of safe because I live on the third floor. I have a deadbolt and a 80-pound pit bull. So like I
Yeah.
feel like I stand a chance against someone like Richard Ramirez, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if he gets in, I mean, a gun is going to be like, nothing's going to stop that, but you could probably stop him from getting in.
How do you think he got involved with the Satanism and the occult?
See, I was wondering about that. No, nothing that I've seen or read has really said how he got introduced to that. Was it somebody that he met that introduced him to that? Was it something that he heard about and decided to do some
Music?
research on his own?
Maybe it could
You
have
know,
been through music.
what do you think? I mean, Black Sabbath was pretty popular at that time.
Judas
They
Priest,
still are. Yeah.
Merciful Fate.
Yeah. So what do you think? How do you think he got interested in that?
I think that when you become a murderer, right, you have to like kind of give away any sort of Christian thought or identity that you have. Even if you don't show it outwards, inwards, you have to like give up on religion. Because that's why you're a murderer. You're not a murderer and then you are like, please forgive me, God. Like, that's obviously like one of the biggest no-nos in Christianity is murder. So if you're committing a murder, you've already given up on God or the idea of religion, Christianity, or organized religion, I guess. And so,
Or maybe
in
he
the
just
early,
like, I'm killing people, so I'm just pure evil. What more is pure evil than Satan? So I must be a child of Satan since I'm so evil.
well, in the early '80s, though, there wasn't like this. I mean, you're either a Christian or you weren't, you know. And so, I think that because of the time period, the music, the kind of different lifestyle, it would be easy to be a Satanist. Whereas nowadays, it's like, you know, you can say, oh, I'm a Levian Satanist or I'm a pagan or heathen or this or that, you know. Back in the early 80s, it was like either you were a Christian or you weren't.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember. I was only like 10, 11.
What year were you born?
73.
You're fucking 4 years older than me. What do you mean you were 10 or 11? You don't remember that shit?
I was outside playing.
Drinking out of the hose?
Yes. Yep. I was climbing trees, riding bikes, riding horses.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that era.
Yep. I
Um,
wasn't watching TV or hearing about any serial killers.
Did you read about like when he was actually like caught?
Like when the townspeople caught the bad guy and turned him
Chased
into
him
the
down,
police.
like, beat the shit out of him?
Yep. Yep. Hey, what's up, Derek? That's so funny. Hola,
Que
hermano.
onda, güey, vatos locos. I thought it was actually kind of cool how like he got recognized and like the whole town like chased him down and beat his ass until the cops
Oh yeah,
showed
I
up.
kept like seeing himself on fucking signs and
Yeah,
shit, and it was like,
yeah.
that's what you get.
Well, and when you're like when you look the way he did, it's like you have a
You
very
have a very
specific
distinct
look.
look about you.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was very weird looking.
you can't escape it.
Right. Right.
How do you feel about him dying in prison from like leukemia instead of being put to death?
I think being put to death is quick and peaceful if it goes the way it's supposed to go. So I'm glad that he suffered. I think that was proper. I don't know how if like the victims' families feel the same way, because it's not fair because most of them suffered, were tortured.
Right.
Um, and you know that with cancer he suffered. You know that.
Oh, for
When
sure.
you're put to death by lethal injection or electrocuture, you don't suffer. You're just dead. You don't suffer. If you have cancer, you suffer. Especially if it's like a very terminal type cancer.
On August 14th, the trial was interrupted because one of the jurors, Phyllis Singletary, did not arrive at the courtroom. Later that day, she was found shot to death in her apartment. The jury was
Sinister.
terrified, wondering if Ramirez had somehow directed this event from inside the prison cell and whether or not he could reach other jurors. However, it was ultimately determined that Ramirez was not responsible for Singletary's death, as
Isn't that a weird coincidence?
she was shot and killed by her boyfriend, who later committed suicide with the same weapon in a hotel. The alternate juror who replaced Singletary was too frightened to return to her home. That's kind of
Yeah.
wild.
That's such a weird coincidence, though.
Yeah.
mean,
Well, you got to wonder if it was like the same caliber gun or something. That'd be pretty fucked
yeah.
up.
He liked to use 22s a lot, I read.
Yes. On September 20th, 1989, Ramirez was convicted of all 43 charges: 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 7 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. During the penalty phase of the trial on November 7th, 1989, he was sentenced to death in California's gas chamber. He stated to reporters after the death sentence, "Big deal. Death always went with the territory. See you in Disneyland."
Wah, wah.
Should we
Well,
not go to Disneyland?
I've never been. I'm not
Or
really a
boycott
huge
on
Disney
Disneyland?
fan. I mean, I don't hate Disneyland, but I'm just like, I'm not like, I've never had an urge to like, oh my God, I want to go to Disneyland. It's
You're
just never
lucky
been.
Patrick's not on this episode because he would
No, I'm not against
water you.
Disneyland. I mean, I'm not against it. No.
At least during horror nights.
I mean, I don't know. We're making a fucking Snow White movie this summer. So yeah.
Tell me
But
more
it's
about
not Disney. It's not even anti-Disney. It's other than Disney.
it. What's it called? Snow White and what?
It's called The Death of Snow White.
Oh.
.com. Actually, I think
trying
it's
to
just
bring
Death
it
of
up.
Snow White. I think it's just deathofsnowwhite.com. I don't think it's the at the beginning. Sorry.
The what the hell?
Type in Death of Snow White.
I did. I'm trying to find the video to put up on the thing.
Oh, go to the website.
I got it.
And
I
it's like
got it.
right there on the website. Ooh, I'm gonna stab
Wait.
you. While you're bringing that up, I have to grab something from the other room. BRB. Your poor eyes. Did you find it?
Oh, I did. Hold on.
There's a million of us. Wah, wah, wah.
Is that it?
That's it. What's happening?
I don't know. Is it not showing?
It was playing, but there was no sound.
And
Huh. That's weird. Huh.
is it not showing the video or no?
It's showing the video, but there's no sound.
Weird.
You keep opening and
Doesn't say
closing
where
it
the
anyway, so there's no sound.
sound. It's crazy when you just see the trailer and they haven't filmed anything. Am I wrong? Because I wanted her eyes to open up at that one point.
No. So check it out. I got my friend Mike gave me these coyote claws.
Oh, snap. I dig it.
Yeah, so I have a couple of them here. Doot, doot.
Those are pretty cool.
Aren't they? I love them. Wonder what I'm gonna make with them.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Something
So
cool.
back to our subject.
Like a puka shell necklace with claws.
What's that?
A puka shell necklace with claws.
Yes. Yes. That would be cool. I'd have to drill little holes though, and I don't have a little drill or a Dremel or anything.
So, how did you ever get a count of how many he actually was convicted of? Was it 16?
I don't know. I think it was around 15 or 16.
Because on August 30th, 1985, Ramirez took a bus to Tucson, Arizona to visit his brother, unaware that he had become the lead story in virtually every major newspaper and television news program across California. After failing to meet his brother due to his not being home, he returned to Los Angeles early on the morning of August 31st. He walked past police officers who were staking out the bus terminal in hopes of catching the killer should he attempt to flee on an outbound bus. But he was actually on an inbound bus and into a convenience store in East Los Angeles.
He walked right past him.
The two police officers, yeah.
That's
After
funny.
notice,
They don't even know who they're looking for.
After noticing a group of elderly Hispanic women fearfully identifying him as El Matador, Ramirez saw his face on the front page of the newspaper um, uh, and fled the store in a panic. After running across Santa Fe Freeway, he attempted to carjack an unlocked Ford Mustang, but was pulled out by angry residents and he was beaten in the streets basically till the cops showed up. Witnesses the attempt to struck Ramirez over the head with a fence post in the pursuit. A group of over 10 residents, including Jose Bjorn's son, formed and chased Ramirez down Hubbard Street in Boyle Heights. They soon restrained Ramirez and relentlessly beat him at around 8 a.m. Police were called over a disturbance in the area with a few details with indications of a fight. Police quickly arrived on Hubbard Street and took a severely beaten Ramirez into custody.
Wow.
So old boy got his ass whooped by the whole town.
Right? He had a moment there. So.
Well, I mean, you got to figure like the whole city of LA and San Francisco and in between were terrified of this guy because
Right.
he killed like 16 people in 12 months. Less than 12 months, really.
Did he like kill 3 people in one day at some point or something like that?
I know that I read that he killed 2 women or a woman and her husband and assaulted another woman. I don't know if he had 3 kills in one day.
Hmm.
I'd have to look that up, but I know that he
Yeah, I don't know.
definitely committed multiple crimes in a day.
Yeah. Yeah, his crimes were freaking heinous. I mean, he didn't even really have any reason. He didn't really have like a lot of his crimes against people were totally random. I'm just gonna go to this house, or I'm just gonna go to this house, or just killing people for no reason.
Do you want to hear
I mean,
something
a lot of it
crazy?
was to rob them, but
Yeah.
also
Uh,
not always.
while awaiting trial, Ramirez reportedly met actor Sean Penn. Penn, who was jailed for 33 days in 1987 for reckless driving and assault as an extra on Colors, claimed to receive a letter from Ramirez as a fellow inmate, to which he wrote back telling Ramirez he had no sympathy and hoped he died in the gas chamber.
How do you feel about how he went and how he was scheduled to go?
Uh, to be fair, when you have something so blatant, I just feel like it's a waste of money and time and
Resources?
to keep them around, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But at the same time, how many people have been convicted of murder who were later expunged, saying like it
Mhm.
wasn't them, you know?
Yeah.
So I think you have kind of like got to weigh those things. But I also feel like you can't let people like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Gein, Richard Ramirez, you know what I mean? Like just sit around for 20, 30 years in the prison
Yeah.
system waiting to kill them because that's just a drain on society.
Mhm.
And it's just keeping them around. I mean, but it's one of those things, like I said, you kind of got to weigh the positive and negatives of stuff. Like, what if you kill some guy in a death chamber who 10 years later is found innocent? You know what I
It's
mean?
happened.
It's happened.
Really
And then
happened.
you end up killing a guy who had nothing to do with the original crime. So,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things that's like, I think a case by case scenario. If someone's beyond guilty,
Yeah,
don't
like
keep them
this.
alive forever.
Yeah,
Just fucking
yeah.
end it.
Don't make them serve their life sentences. Just fucking off them now, dude.
Yeah, if you die from some disease before you're scheduled to die, like I feel like we're cheated. I
Yeah.
know that sounds
But I
weird.
also feel like that type, the way he did go, should have come sooner. That would have been the perfect recipe if it came sooner because he
Right.
suffered, you
Yeah,
know.
for
So,
sure.
that would have been great.
What do you want to what are we doing next week?
Um, do you want to do like a game of some sort? Because I really like the games.
Okay. So we should reach
Or we
out
could talk
to
about
our
something
listeners.
else. I mean, we haven't really we could touch up on like a classic horror subject or something like totally completely off the wall.
Is there anything new that came out that we could watch and talk about?
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Is there anything new? I don't think
I don't know. I'm
so.
kind of hoping someone chimes in with something.
No. Hmm. We can camp on it. We can get Patrick's input too when he's uh
Well, also I was reached out. Hold on, let me just tell you who it is so you know. Because you might know who I'm talking about. Give me 1 second to
Matt.
get there. What'd you say?
Matt Shaw.
No.
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 Shaw.
No.
Although we do love Matt Shaw here at the Zompire podcast. If you're a
We
reader,
certainly
go
do.
pick up the Matt Shaw books.
Yes.
So let me just Alexi Angelino.
Oh, I know Alexi. Yes.
So right now they're working on Vampire Penance. They're
Mm-hmm.
due to start recording June 29th. She would like the producer and main lead to come on.
And who are they?
Hold on.
Actually, I could probably find out. I can just go to the.
The director is John Rhine.
Who? What was the first name?
John, and his last name is Reign.
Rain. Okay.
Rain. And the lead is Jack Berner.
Okay.
Berner.
I don't know that person.
Okay. But it's a film they're making. The director and the lead. We're talking about coming on. The only thing is figuring it out because they can't go live on a Monday night. They said they would figure it out. Who's AV?
You have to read the rest of the sentence, dear. Scroll down one more line.
About other cons.
Have you talked about other cons? Is what she just asked.
No. What other cons? There's the one in October.
Any other conventions? No, we've never talked about any other cons.
Yeah, we only love Seattle Crypticon.
I've never been to any other conventions. No horror conventions anyway. I mean, I've been to Wentworth Convention in LA a couple years ago.
Have you been to the Seattle Comic Con?
Nope. I've been to the Portland Roaster Show. Well, that's it. Crypticon. Well, actually, no. I went to NorwestCon a couple of times. It's pretty small. And I went to NerdCon. So.
You're a nerd.
I am a nerd. Proud to be a nerd.
Well, I love you to death, you nerdy bastard.
I love you, you nerdy bitch.
Nerdy bitch.
Yes.
Sherry's going to Mad Monster.
I know. I need to start traveling to other conventions. That'd be fun. I'd have to pay for a hotel room, though.
If we went together, we could split it.
That's true.
Can I get some cowbell?